Sex trafficking, interstate transportation for prostitution.
The shocking 14-page indictment against scene Diddy Combs has sent ripples through the entertainment world, revealing deeply disturbing allegations of sex trafficking, racketeering, and prostitution. The charges against Diddy, who was arrested on September 16th after a federal investigation, detail years of predatory behavior that has been described as a pattern of abuse that reached far beyond his personal life and into his businesses under the Combs Enterprises umbrella. The indictment portrays a terrifying and orchestrated system of abuse, with Diddy accused of orchestrating what he called freak-offs, disturbing, multi-day sex parties where women were allegedly coerced into engaging in sexual acts with male sex workers, while Diddy watched and sometimes filmed them without their knowledge or consent. His victims were often kept compliant through extensive drug use, and the indictment alleges that Diddy had his business associates assist in the planning and cover-up of these events. The lengthy indictment includes dozens of scandalous and disturbing claims. Take a look at the most shocking allegations below.
The message that I want to be received is that I know everyone's going through something. I know it's not easy at times. Sometimes it is, right? Sometimes it's beautiful. Sometimes it could be a lot. And to me, this project represents for me in hip hop when it comes to those conversations about Mount Rushmore and all these things. It's I got a lot of people who do fuck with me. I got a lot of people who don't fuck with me. And
the allegations in detail. 1. A decade of violence. From as far back as 2009, Diddy is accused of assaulting numerous women. His alleged acts of violence included hitting, kicking, dragging, and throwing objects. In one instance, security footage captured a particularly violent altercation at a Los Angeles hotel in March 2016. The footage reportedly shows Diddy kicking a woman and throwing a vase at her as she tried to escape. The incident, which became public earlier this year, was so severe that Diddy allegedly attempted to bribe hotel staff to keep the assault quiet. 2. Combs Enterprises as a criminal organization. Prosecutors argue that Diddy's alleged abuses were not isolated, but part of a criminal enterprise. They claim that Combs Enterprises functioned as a front for illegal activities, ranging from sex trafficking and forced labor to drug distribution, coercion, and threats of violence. These crimes allegedly spanned across state lines, further intensifying the charges. 3. Kidnapping and arson. Diddy is not only accused of using his influence to coerce and control women, but also of resorting to extreme measures like kidnapping and arson to intimidate those who challenged him. The indictment details how Diddy and his associates used violence and threats to maintain control, ensuring that victims and witnesses remained silent. 4. Freak-offs, multi-day ordeals. One of the most sensational revelations in the indictment involves Diddy's infamous freak-offs. These events reportedly took place over multiple days, with Diddy orchestrating every detail. Women were allegedly forced to engage in sex acts, often in the presence of male sex workers, while Diddy watched and sometimes recorded the events. The indictment describes how drugs like cocaine, ketamine, and other substances were frequently used to keep the victims compliant during these extended encounters. 5. Stalking hotels for abuse. Diddy's team allegedly played an active role in facilitating and covering up these freak-offs. His business associates reportedly booked hotel rooms and ensured they were stocked with drugs, baby oil, lubricants, extra linens, and lighting to set the stage. Afterward, they would clean up the evidence, ensuring that nothing remained to implicate Diddy or his associates. 6. The federal raids. At a turn of events, federal authorities raided Diddy's properties in Miami and Los Angeles earlier this year. They uncovered a disturbing array of freak-off supplies, including more than 1,000 bottles of baby oil, various narcotics, and video recordings of the alleged abuse. Even more alarming, investigators found firearms, including 3 AR-15 rifles with defaced serial numbers, raising the stakes in the legal case. 7. Control and coercion. Beyond physical violence, the indictment paints Diddy as a master manipulator. It alleges that he controlled every aspect of his victims' lives, from their movements and medical records to their appearance. He allegedly dangled career opportunities in front of them as a form of leverage, only to use physical violence, drugs, and blackmail to keep them trapped in his orbit. The indictment also claims Diddy used video recordings from the freak-offs to blackmail victims, ensuring they stayed silent and obedient. 8. Weapons and violence. In addition to the drugs and recordings, the federal raids uncovered a cache of illegal firearms at Diddy's homes. 3 AR-15 rifles with defaced serial numbers, along with ammunition, were found, further implicating Diddy in serious federal weapons charges. This discovery added another layer of complexity to the ongoing investigation, deepening the potential consequences he faces. 9. Hidden victims. Diddy's associates allegedly played a significant role in keeping his abuse hidden from the public. In some cases, victims were reportedly forced into hiding for days at a time to recover from the injuries he inflicted. This pattern of covering up abuse aligns with previous allegations from Cassie, a former girlfriend, who claimed that she too was hidden away after violent incidents. 10. Witness intimidation. As the investigation gained momentum in 2023, Diddy reportedly ramped up efforts to silence his victims and prevent them from cooperating with authorities. The indictment reveals that he pressured witnesses, offering them bribes and attempting to manipulate their testimony. 2 phone calls between Diddy and his victims were reportedly recorded, where he allegedly tried to fabricate a false narrative to cover up his crimes. 11. Drug possession and distribution. The indictment also accuses Diddy of drug possession with intent to distribute. Prosecutors allege that he was involved in trafficking various narcotics, including cocaine, MDMA, ketamine, and several other controlled substances. The drugs were allegedly a central part of his freak-offs, used to keep victims compliant and under his control. 12. Bribery and harassment. As the pressure from law enforcement intensified, Diddy allegedly resorted to bribery and harassment in a desperate attempt to keep his victims and witnesses from speaking out. The indictment claims that Diddy offered money to those willing to stay quiet and even provided some with false narratives to spread in an effort to obscure the truth. These acts of desperation further incriminated him in the eyes of the law. Diddy's legal defense. Despite these overwhelming accusations, Diddy's legal team is fighting back, portraying him as a victim of an unjust prosecution. His attorney, Mark Agnifilo, has publicly denounced the charges, calling Diddy a loving family man who has built an empire and dedicated his life to philanthropy. Agnifilo insists that Diddy is innocent and that he has been cooperative with the investigation from the start, relocating to New York in anticipation of the charges. The defense has urged the public not to rush to judgment, insisting that once all the facts are presented in court, Diddy will be cleared of any wrongdoing. The road ahead promises to be a long and contentious legal battle, with Diddy's reputation, fortune, and freedom hanging in the balance. As the October trial date approaches, the world will be watching closely to see how this case unfolds. Will Diddy be able to clear his name, or will the allegations prove too damning for even the music mogul to escape?